Africa. God bless Africa. That's right. Hello everybody, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. Good evening everybody. Grajina, hello, good to see you. Asoba Greg, Tyra, Omar, Ebuchela Muche, good evening. Favor, Tawanda, sorry. Wow, hello everybody, I hope you're having a nice weekend. Asoba Greg, good evening everybody. Hope you're all doing fine. Sister Ufoma, good evening sister. Hope you're all doing great. And I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Hello, Mark Chris Ogedegwe. You're welcome. Hello, sweetheart baby. You're welcome. Sister Chigo, good evening, sister. I hope you're all doing fine. Yitunde Soremeku. Hi, everybody. This live broadcast usually is on relationship, and my wife and I, we talk on relationship, especially in between people, between couples, individuals, and so on. And today I want to look at the bigger picture, still based on relationship. For a few days now, I'm sure those of you who have been listening to news must have heard about another round of xenophobic attacks on foreigners. Let me underline, black Africans in South Africa. So I thought that, this is something we need to talk about. A lot of people have been keeping quiet, or just saying one thing or the other, or thinking, oh, I don't have relatives there, so I don't care. But that's not that's wrong. That's wrong. Especially for somebody like me who was born in the generation that saw and felt apartheid in South Africa. And I grew also, and I would say I am happy that I'm alive to be there when apartheid fell. And remembering all what happened till 1994, or less than 1991 precisely, when apartheid fell. The elections came 1994. Remembering what happened all those, before that, till 1991. Having that on one side and looking at what is going on right now on the other side, it's like, for me, these are two things that cannot mix. I can't even imagine that we can get to that. For God's sake, how did we get to this? I started this program with a song Those of you who are from the old school, who are like above 40, I'm sure you remember this music. The title is Nkosi Sikeleli Africa, meaning God bless Africa. This was regarded as the African anthem then, even till date. It was a song that was like the symbolic song for the fight for freedom in South Africa. We from the West Africa and all those from the East or everywhere, we were humming to this song. In Nigeria, where I'm from, and I'm sure that in Ghana as well, I mean, in primary and secondary schools, you had school bands playing this tune. We grew up, being taught and pointed to what was going on in South Africa during the apartheid era. For us then, it was like we were the people under apartheid. In Nigeria, the country where I'm from, we were so sensitized that it was a fight for every common man in Nigeria. We were all sensed to that. An average Nigerian was ready to pick up arms to go and fight if called upon, to go and fight the apartheid regime. That was the power then. That was the sense then. So, coming from that school, in my own case, in the late 80s, I traveled to the Soviet Union then for further studies. And getting there, and God so kind, the school where I studied, the university, we had students from over 120 countries, and maybe about 70 African, about 40 to 45 African countries were represented. So I had the opportunity, to meet a lot of other Africans. We had Ghanaians, Zimbabweans, Zambians, Guineans, just name it. Practically, you had students from every African country then. So we mixed up so much. We got to understand each other so much. The apartheid regime there was something, for us, that it was like something we all believed that maybe we all need to go down there and help tear it down. We had a common goal. We grew up knowing that, yes, we are Africans. We grew up knowing that we had a common enemy. We had a common problem that we need to solve. Apartheid. And I would say, I know many African countries, Nigeria, Ghana, Guinea, Sierra Leone, not to talk of the frontline states then, bordering South Africa. People fought apartheid, every means necessary, any way they could. I'll use Nigeria for example. Nigeria spent billions and billions of dollars in helping the frontline states, for lobbying for sanctions to be imposed on South Africa. And I remember for Nigerians and Ghanaians, for example, Nigerians and Ghanaians, the first time we had to apply for British visa, then prior to that, we were visa free to the UK. Till about 1988, 87, thereabout, when most Commonwealth countries of Africa boycotted the Commonwealth Games in the UK because the then British government refused to impose sanctions on South Africa. And it was fueled so much because a South African runner, Zola Bod, changed nationality and was to run for Great Britain. So Nigeria refused, said they're not going to attend the games. Ghana the next day said, oh yeah, we're not going to attend. And many other countries refused. The Commonwealth Games of that year was messed up. So to punish us, the British government imposed visas on these stubborn countries. So in case you didn't know, that was when we started getting visas for the UK. All right. Moving further. Africans as a whole suffered so much to help bring down apartheid. Am I talking about the frontline states, Namibia, Or is it, what, if you're talking about Botswana, Swaziland, they were all squeezed up. Angola, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Tanzania, they were all under pressure. They did theirs. ANC got fighters trained in those places. South African planes would try to come over to bomb these areas on the front line in the frontline states. It was a war. Nigerian Air Force pilots who were flying the Hercules C-130 planes, they used to fly steady to the frontline states with supplies, military equipment, and financial support. Not just supporting the frontline states, as well as supporting the ANC. So it's not by chance that one of the first countries Mandela visited was Nigeria after his release. This is to tell you that the fight against apartheid was an African fight. It wasn't just ANC alone. Without the outside support received from other African countries, it would have been difficult. We are all celebrating Mandela today. But let me tell you, the frontline states of Zambia, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Namibia, Angola, Nigeria personally included itself into the frontline states. We all shed blood. We all spent money, resources to free South Africa from apartheid. As a student in the Soviet Union then, like I mentioned earlier, we were so close with the ANC representatives in Moscow then, and as well with the SWAPO. Those are the freedom fighters in Namibia then. We were so close with them. We were brothers. Even it got to the point that, they used to visit us in the hostels. Sometimes maybe they didn't have money, no support here and there. Is it food? We're going to share with them. Even to the point that we were telling them, say, oh, in case you are being haunted, who knows what can happen? You can come hide in our hostel. It will be difficult for you to find maybe a few of them in the hostel filled with maybe over 500 Africans. It got to that. So I'm from that school that felt apartheid. And we all did what we could do, no matter how young we were. We spoke about it. I had a poem, anti-apartheid poem. We were all sensitized. We knew that it was one Africa. We are all one. So that's why I started this broadcast with that African anthem. And this anthem, for you to know again, has been brought in. Part of it, the lyrics, the music is what is now the national anthem of South Africa. But part of the lyrics merged with the old South African anthem, now together make up the new national anthem of South Africa. Let me still tell you further that this song, Nkosi Sikeleli Africa, means God bless Africa. It became a Pan-African liberation anthem. And it was later adopted as the national anthem of 5 countries in Africa, including Zambia, Tanzania, Namibia, Zimbabwe, after independence. But later, Zimbabwe and Namibia, they adopted new anthems. But till today, this song is being used by Tanzania. Okay? So, this is to tell you how close we are in Africa. How a common goal brought us together. So moving further and looking at what is going on in South Africa today. Yes, a lot of foreigners are there. Black Africans, as they're calling them there. Yeah. You cannot brandish everybody as bad. For many years, we've had killings, mob actions, looting, burning of properties belonging to Black Africans. I listened to a South African young man the other day. He was like, well, he's schizophrenic, I'm sure of that. Saying that yes, that I'm here, I'm one of the members, I'm the leader of the group, we're going to kill all these Black Africans coming here, taking our jobs and doing this, doing that. Okay. But if you saw earlier, my poster said, fight crime, not fellow Africans. If you are fighting crime is one thing, but fighting fellow Africans is different. And it is heartbreaking that most of these young men, South African young men who are taking part in this whole action, these are people in their 20s and maybe early 30s who didn't know what apartheid was. So we can say they are ignorant and they are stupid, imbeciles. Call them anything you want. But then, what burns me so much is the action of the government. All these years, the government has been using a kind of lukewarm attitude, and this has given rise to these attacks. Last time it was partly due to the comments made by the Zulu king. This period, all of a sudden it has escalated again. Even the Johannesburg mayor was also saying something the other day that, what did he say? That there are many blacks, there are many people who for various reasons seek a better life in Johannesburg and indeed South Africa as a whole. You know, these are statements that kind of, you know, that can fuel such things. And we forget that every time we think that politicians are the ones that will solve our problems. And we forget that they are the ones that caused it in the first place. I repeat, these young men are under 30 or maybe in their mid-30s. They didn't know what apartheid was all about. So that's why I put the blame on the government. I put the blame on the older generation who kept quiet and who are still keeping quiet, not saying anything. So all of a sudden they are saying that I laid my hands on a document by one of the groups there, Concerned Community for Service Delivery in Mamelodi, there, here and there, blah, blah, blah. You know, with a memorandum that they wrote to the police, bringing up their grievances. It's a 3-page document. Some of their things, they are saying that foreigners should be banned from operating taxis. Then others are saying, hello, hope you're still here. Sorry for that. They are saying that businesses owned by black South Africans or others have been destroyed, that they've been driven back to slavery by black Africans and white South Africans. You know, and churches have come in there and they are taking over their religious, you know, I mean, some kind of programs like that. And that they should bring up a program that should educate foreigners to learn to speak properly, that they are arrogant and don't know how to speak to people, especially Nigerians. I'm telling you, this is a document. This is a document that this group sent to the police, talking about their grievances. You see that they said they are fighting crime, but how can you fight crime by going out to the street? The first foreigner you are seeing, you are killing him. Is that how you fight crime? That's not fight crime. That's xenophobia. That is xenophobia. When you attack somebody because he is not from your place, that's what it is. You're not attacking him because he committed any crime. Asoba Greg is saying our government is not saying anything. Well, I disagree, brother. The Senate has complained. Our foreign affairs and the government as a whole, they invited the South African ambassador, and he was giving stern warning that Nigerian government will not condone any act of such violence against Nigerians. It was made clear to them. So I wouldn't say that our government has not done anything. This time around, our government has been very, very active in this. They've taken all diplomatic steps possible at this point in time. Right. So what I'm trying to say is this. It's unfortunate. The values are no more there. I still put the blame on the older generation. What is it that we teach the younger generation? What are our values? These young boys doing these things, I'm sure they don't know who Miriam Makeba was. I'm sure of that. I'm sure they cannot tell you what the struggle against apartheid was all about. And the role that these people that they are killing, the citizens of these countries, and those countries, that what they did to make them free. And now you are picking up machete now because you feel I'm free now, I'm going to kill somebody. Sorry to say this. I've met South Africans. I've seen them. The problem that most of these fellows are having now, those people complaining, because first of all, they are lazy. It's easier for them to go and drink Nkomboti than going to work. Of course, the foreigner will come there seeking green pastures. He's there. He's going to take up those jobs. They're going to open shops. They are the ones practically holding the economy. So what you need to do, why don't you need to compete? Why don't you need to go down and work? There is job there. And these people who are coming in, you said they are opening businesses. They are also employing locals. So what is the problem? I also blame the South African government. They've not been proactive. They've not been proactive. A few days ago, I was listening to the president. He was saying that he denied that the South Africans were xenophobic and that the event was anti-crime. I quote, anti-crime in the main. It was not an anti-foreigners march. He said the number of foreigners in South Africa are far more than the numbers that Europe is fighting about. But nobody calls them xenophobic. The number of foreigners in South Africa are far more than the numbers that Europe is fighting about. So he's trying to tell us that the number of foreigners in South Africa is greater than the number in Europe. You know, I don't want to curse. I don't have to. But I don't know where this guy, what he's using to reason. I don't know what part of the body he's reasoning with. And so what? Even if you have a huge number of foreigners there. So, statistics say that there are about 3 million foreigners in South Africa in general. 3 million. How many are there in Europe? Well, that's another thing. So what I'm trying to say is that this is just because of the failure of the government to provide jobs, quality education, skill acquisition. It's the problem. They caused it. And they don't want to take responsibilities. That is why you hear things like this. And this is the problem in many other African countries in general. I wore this t-shirt today. You can see it. It's Kutokea Africa in Swahili, which means Arise Africa. This was a gift from the African Medical Association, Students Association in Harkov City here, which I'm a patron of the organization. Bringing together African medical students. In a few days, there will be another cultural evening. And I think I have enough things to talk about that evening. And the funny thing again is that, like I'm saying, the generation of today, they don't understand what is going on. And when you don't know your history, you never know where you're coming from. And you don't know where you're coming from, I don't know where you are going to. So all this what I'm talking about, many of them don't even know about it. So no, they can't even tell you what was apartheid. It is heartbreaking when you see them, the way they murdered innocent people in a very barbaric ways, stabbing people, mutilating people. You think that it's like, I don't know, cow meat. It's sad. It's very sad. But of course, we don't regret. I mean, I'm sure no Nigerian or Ghanaian or anybody is regretting ever doing anything, to help fight apartheid. No, we did it not just for South Africa, it's for ourselves. But we did it because we are Africans. Not because we are South African. We are African. We are blacks. It's sad. It's very sad. These young men, they lack identity. They lack identity. They don't know where they are going to. It's easy to put the blame on another person than on yourself. Even if those foreigners leave, believe me, those young men who are doing all these killings, they will not still go down to work. If you're lazy, you will always be lazy. People need to talk about this. Remember the saying that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. People are keeping quiet. I've not heard foreign governments even say anything, especially in Europe and across the ocean. Unfortunately, a few days ago, I heard that a British lady was killed. The husband survived the attack by bandits. Maybe this will help them open their eyes and maybe they could say something. When you hear that, people say that South Africa is the capital of crime in the world, not only by foreigners. Heard about deaths of very great people, Lucky Dube, for example, armed robbery. So why you don't have to blame foreigners for that, for who you are. It is well. It is well. Today we're not talking about relationship between men and women, and my sweetheart is not here with me. She's out of town on a conference, so I'm doing this alone. So let's say no to xenophobia. Let's say no to it. Sister Chinwe is saying it's sad that we Africans are suffering from mountain of ignorance. Yes, mountain of ignorance. It's our duty to train the younger ones. Tell them these stories. Tell them these stories. They need to hear. I want to say hi to Chinwan and Abba. Thank you, sister. Bamishaye Victor. Vivian Taylor, you're welcome. Paul Oriade, hello, brother. Oh, my brother Denira Lukman, you're welcome. Yes, you say that last year similar issue happened and there were media chat with Channel TV. I said something similar to this. Good. But until the government of South Africa comes to their more senses, things will not take into place. Furthermore, let Nigerian government and countries involved evict their business empire out so they can feel what it takes to take life out of others. I'm seriously getting pissed. I'm pissed already. A few days ago, the National Association of Nigerian Students gave South Africans in Nigeria 48 hours to leave the country because they will not, they can't guarantee their safety. It has gotten to that. How did we get to this? 30 years ago, we were saying South Africans, please run, come into Nigeria, you'll be safe. Black South Africans, come in, you'll be safe. Nigerian government gave out hundreds and hundreds of Nigerian passports to escapees, South African escapees, blacks, so that they could use to at least to be free. Gave them identity. Today, they're telling South Africans to leave Nigeria, giving them 48 hours. This is where we've gotten to. I'm not in support of this, but the government needs to take some serious action. Need to take serious action on this. We cannot keep quiet. Hello, brother Habib. Good evening. Chidimma Chinyere, good evening. God bless you. Omonike Ikeade, you're welcome. Obi DK. Laulu Laoye Lana. Who else do we have here? Sister Ufoma, I've mentioned you. Chimenka, good evening, brother. Yeah, please share this message. Let it get to somebody. Let it get to somebody. We can't keep quiet anymore. We just can't keep quiet anymore. Share this message. Sister Stella, good evening. You're welcome. God bless you. Shisandra, good evening. Janet, good to see you, sister. Right. Please share this message. Somebody needs to hear this. I've talked about history here. Let people hear and understand. I think we need to understand, especially the young generation. We've suffered enough. We've suffered enough. And it's worse when we inflict all these things on ourselves. We inflict the damages on ourselves. It is terrible. So, I think I have to round up. And rounding up, let me go back to the same music I started with. Nkosi Sikelele Africa. It was the Pan-African anthem. Today it's still regarded as the African anthem. Okay? Most of you who are like above 35, 40, I'm sure you know the music. But we all hummed along with it. And the meaning goes like this. The lyrics goes like this. God bless Africa. Let its horn be blessed. Listen also to our prayers. Lord, bless us. We are the family of Africa. God bless Africa. Let its horn be blessed. Listen also to our prayers. Lord bless us. We are the family of Africa. We are the family of Africa. I repeat, when I remember what happened about 30, 40 years ago, listening to what is going on now, it's like, I don't know, I need to leave this planet and move over to Mars. Because it cannot happen. Yeah, Chedima says, yeah, you know the anthem, sure. That means you're from our school. Lord bless us, we are family. We are the family of Africa. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. And if you have a comments to make, please write it down. I will still reply to each and every one of you. I will share this message further to other groups and other places. You share the message as well. It's all about relationship. We need to love one another. We have the same direction we are going to. If you're in Ukraine now, I'm a Nigerian and you're a black South African. To the Ukrainian, he doesn't know the difference. He doesn't know the difference. He will say, you are all blacks, you are all Africans. And then if we're in South Africa, all of a sudden, I'm a black African. You call me black African and you bring out your machete. Come on. You need help. You need help. God bless Africa. Thank you everybody for joining. I'm sorry I'm somewhat too emotional. Like I said, I'm from the old school. I saw apartheid. I saw what the struggle was all about and what the Nigerian government did. I repeat, our Hercules planes, our pilots, they flew the low radar to the frontline states to deliver weapons, deliver materials. Many things that were destroyed by the South African apartheid regime then in those frontline states, the Nigerian government made sure that all these things were repaired. They supported them, financed these governments, financed the struggle, did a lot of things. And then you have all these schizophrenic young men and young men coming up all of a sudden. One of them was saying South Africa for South Africans. Can you imagine that? And I looked at him, maybe he was 25 years old. When we were singing this anthem, he wasn't even, his dad was not even thinking about him. And they are jumping on the black Africans. And then they'll say, no, the white Africans, everything is okay. Those who have taken all their lands and everything, it's all right for them. No, I'm not agitating for any attack, not on whites, on nobody. It shows weakness. Weakness. That's what it shows. Just weakness. Work hard and go get a job. Go get a job. You can't attack your brother and say that yes, you're South Africa for South Africans. They need help. I'm happy somebody like brother Bojo Andora is here. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking about. There are things you cannot fathom. That a black South African can pick up arms and hit a black African. It cannot happen. You can't even imagine it. I can't even think of it. It is insane. You cannot. It's like oil and water that cannot mix. It's not possible. They are weak. They don't have identity. They never picked up arms then. They didn't. They were kids. Maybe they were not even born then to fight the apartheid regime. They were giving support. They were giving shelter. They were giving finances, strong support for their liberation. And today, all of a sudden, South Africa for South Africans. One of the schizophrenic ones was saying on YouTube the other day. Come on. Sister Chinwe, yeah, I'm emotional. You were here. We know how we are related with other Africans. So you know other Africans. You know where I'm coming from. You know where I'm coming from. You know where I'm coming from. We shared our meals together with South African brothers. We shared our meals together with our Southern African brothers. Then maybe they were not getting money or things like that, support or what. We shared our meals with them. Nigeria paid a big price here, Jandora. We paid a big price. Ghana paid a big price. Many other countries with our freedom, with a lot of things. Like I mentioned earlier, the first time we started getting British visa was when we boycotted the Commonwealth Games. And that was it. We said, okay, take your Britain and go. We'll get visa and we'll go. It's all right. But as long as we made our point. I can't keep quiet. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. God bless Africa. God bless Africa. Let its horns be blessed. Listen also to our prayers. Lord bless us. We are the family of Africa. Yeah. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. Yeah. Targeting Nigerians. They should go and open their history books. And I think they will come to their senses. I really love them. I really love them. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Share this message, please. Let this message get to other people as well. We need to open our eyes. Thank you so much. God bless Africa. God bless each and every one of you. One love. Bye-bye.